Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tavern. Did we witness history this week? Was that not the greatest U.S. Open we have seen in some of the past few years? It was amazing. Congratulations, Bryson, on an amazing win. Let's get into it on the Tavern. There we go. In honor of Payne, the 1999 U.S. Open flag. What? You are still you are muted still. I got you. I took you off. You're good.
Thank you.
I was giving the fans
we do this show. We do the show the same time every week, don't
we? Since Monday Night Football, yes. Since the start of Monday Night Football season, yes.
Same day, same time, right? Same bad time, same bad channel. Right?
That shows our age.
Our third amigo here,
our color commentator. He's the humor of the group. He's our resident gambler,
degenerate.
Yeah, he's
okay. So
hope he shows up.
Let's start with Greg. How was your Father's Day?
It was awesome. I mean, I had to work, but I mean, my son greeted me at the door when I got home. Said Happy Father's Day. We went out. We had a great meal for dinner. It was fantastic. And on top of that, one of the greatest finishes Sundays to a U.S. Open I have seen since probably Tiger at Torrey Pines.
That one finished on Monday.
I know it finished on Monday. And if this would have ended in a tie, I would have been so mad because they changed that and they don't do that anymore. And that was the best playoff ever.
Let's not get on that soapbox. We've got way other soapboxes to get on tonight.
And we didn't have to get there anyway. So how was your Father's Day, Steve?
I played golf all weekend, actually. First time in a long time that I got to play. I can't say the last time I played back-to-back days. I think the last time I played back-to-back days was when we were in Hilton Head together for the Masters. And I do need to give a shout-out to getting me ready to play back-to-back days to the Joint Chiropractic Clinic here in Claremont, Florida. So thank you guys. I went in there last week. You get visits once a week for a month. Like, you can sign up for a cool thing. And I will tell you that they got me to the point that I could actually hit a golf ball 2 days in a row. And I got up and woke up pain-free for the first time in a long time. So kudos to them. I actually played golf with my dad on Saturday in a tournament. We played a 2-man scramble together out at Eagle Creek here. I shot 1 under. That didn't sniff anything.
You didn't just put down and you shot a 48 on for 18?
There was a father-son combo in the championship flight that shot a 58 in a 2-man.
I've shot a 58 in a 2-man. Legally. Legitimately.
And they had, you know what the best flight was? They had different flights set up, and the highest handicap flight they had was the Scheffler flight. And the comment was, this is a Scheffler flight because everybody in here has probably been arrested at some point.
Oh, nice.
And it was a bunch of attorneys.
Hey, look who made it. Wow. Will, what's going on in the background?
Look who remembered how to sign in.
I still do know how this works.
Wow. Well, not on time apparently, but
because I haven't booted up this computer in a while, it's just sat there spinning and doing updates.
What do we say, Steve? What did we say?
Yeah, right. We knew that was going to be the issue.
The guy who. Hey, Dave, just for you.
Yeah, I got something for you too, but I don't think it's appropriate for the show.
Wow, we are really friendly. Wow. That escalated quickly.
Yes, just a little bit.
Hey, Dave.
Welcome back, Dave.
You've missed what we did this weekend. Dave, how was your Father's Day?
Busy. Very busy. So it's that time of the year. I'm out in the vineyard a lot right now, but Whit got me a new pellet grill smoker for Father's Day, so we've been breaking that in over the last couple of weeks. So It's worked out really well.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, you guys. With that, I think let's get right into the first round. Cheers.
I've been watching the with my son outside of watching the U.S. Open this weekend. I was watching a lot of the FIFA, the UEFA Cup from England, from the UK, and that
The
was
who and the what?
That chant reminds me of watching a European soccer game. Football.
Hey, I will say, I went this weekend to the Olympic swimming trials here in Lucas Oil Stadium, and let me tell you, as a former swimmer, that was the most exciting swim meet I have ever been to, and the atmosphere that they made there, they aren't doing it justice on TV, with the lights and the walk up and everything. If you don't like swimming, this will hype you for it.
I'm trying to figure out that many people in a football stadium watching a pool. Like, I'm confused about
20,000 people. But here's what they do. I'll tell you what's exciting about it. I was a swimmer and I was a swim coach, and it was, and my parents can attest for this, going to a swim meets are boring as hell. But this was exciting because it's only a few races that you're watching at a time. They do a whole like walk up music for them as they're coming out. Like, this is so and so from this swim club in lane 1 and lane 2. They have the officials. Yes, there's officials in swimming. March out in their like what I call their Olive Garden outfit, because they got these like nice vests on, look like they're about to serve you garlic bread. But they have lights and everything in there, and it is a great atmosphere, and it's like a sporting event, like being at an NBA game, being at an NFL game, and it's just a fun environment, and it got me hyped, and it was kind of nostalgic to get back to my swimming days with everything that went on there, and it was so much fun. I'm hyped for the Olympics.
Here's the question for you, Greg. Being, you've been in Lucas Oil Stadium more than once and have seen a variety of different events there. Mm-hmm. How hard is it to convert that from the playing surface to a swimming pool?
So you can watch the video online. It's really cool because if you think about an NFL stadium, you're actually like sitting above the floor. Like, it's looking into like a coliseum. Yeah. So the pool actually comes up to like the first level of the rows, like the platform. So it's interesting. And they had to build 2 pools in there. It only takes up like the end zone to like the 40-yard line. And then on the other side of the 50-yard line is another pool, which is the warm-up pool, and where they
warm-up, cool-down pool. Yeah.
So it's,
I didn't know how far up that came, and like if they had to take out the lower bowl or any of the seats there to.
No, it's exactly the same. I went during COVID to the NCAA Final Four that was there, and it looked exactly the same setup as that. Is really what it looked like, except instead of a basketball court, it was a 50-meter pool. So that was the cool part about it. Like, unbelievable job for USA Swimming. Like, kudos to them for that. But with that being said, so USA Swimming has nothing on the USGA and the US Open this week.
Yes.
So, and we've got realistically 3 segments to talk here. Really 2 segments to talk about the US Open. Yeah. So
Yay, Steve. Yay.
Funny if we didn't send the text message to say what's our first round topic before we get into the recap during happy hour. So I'm going to throw 3 topics out there. Let's pick which one we want to talk in first round, and then the others we'll talk in happy hour. So Tiger, is he done?
Yes, let's talk that.
Rory in sportsmanship.
Let's talk that in round 2.
Or
happy hour.
Wiregrass or 6-inch rough.
Also round and happy hour. Let's do Tiger and and then let's do Tiger in this round and talk about that. So here's my thing with Tiger. Is Tiger done? Tiger's never going to be done. Tiger's a competitor. He's not going to be out there. But yeah, Tiger's done. Like, I still want to see him out there, but if he really wants to make a push at it, he's got to play more. And his body's not there yet. I don't think it is, but he looked good. I sent you all a text on day one on Thursday, watching Tiger. Like, he was making par. He was at 1 under at one point through, I think, 7 holes. And I was like,
what was my response to that? Are we in the end game now?
Yeah, and it was as soon as you sent that text, you kind of jinxed Tiger at that point because he went bogey, then he
Yeah,
went
that was
bogey, and then
then it went downhill real quick.
the downfall for that. But he gave us hope, and you saw glimmers of him. He was putting well up until that bogey. Once he made that bogey, he lost it.
I think with Tiger, and what I really appreciated, and we've all seen the photos, him working with JT out there on the range. I think he's got a lot to give the game, whether that's on the course or on the range or something like that. But him taking the time, and JT's game right now is probably only second to Max Homa right now in the way that they're playing. But Tiger taking that,
or Jordan. Can we throw Jordan in there too? Like,
not yet. But Tiger taking that time. Yeah,
Greg, I'm throwing Jordan in that group too.
Jordan on Sunday lost it.
Yeah. But that was great to see for Tiger. We know they're friends off the course and everything like that, but that's not something Tiger would have done 15 years ago.
Here's my take. Tiger's post-round interview on Saturday where he said, I've only got one more tournament. Even if I win it, I won't get into the playoffs. He's right. Mathematically, he won't get into the top 70, so it doesn't really matter. I think Tiger's at a point in his career, and I found there was an interesting post that came up that they're actually discussing whether or not Tiger should be exempt into all signature events or elevated events going forward. And he can pick and choose which ones he wants to play in.
No.
Majors,
don't. Yes. Signature events, no.
It's no. And I'm with you on that. And you know what? If he wants to play the
He's a sponsor's exemption at points in time because Tiger's still going to draw. It's Tiger. But here's the thing, though. He's taking somebody's spot in a signature event.
No, because here's the deal. He's not, because they're basically saying if Tiger wants to play in a signature event, he has an automatic spot. So it wouldn't be from one of the 70 in that field.
There'd be 71 in the field.
There'd be 71 in the field. So I don't have a problem necessarily with that. And I feel like you could add a sponsor's exemption if he was going to play and be like, hey, let's make it an even field because you're sending him out in twosomes anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I actually don't mind that Tiger would have basically an open spot. The problem is he going to use them? And I don't see them using them.
Let me ask you this, Steve. Like, to be honest, my answer to this question is no, because I think that I don't want to watch Tiger struggle. Like, I don't want to watch him if he's not going to be in the top 10, if he's not going to be there. So is he just out there as a dog and pony show? And he doesn't want that either. So, like,
was Tiger out there as a dog and pony show this weekend?
It's a major. Like, that's different. Like,
I agree. But is he out there? I mean, has he been relevant since winning in 2019? Since winning in 2019. I mean, I almost feel like Freddie Couples at 60
over and over and over again.
Freddie Couples at age 60 has been more competitive in a major.
No, I get
the
that.
Masters and Tigers.
That's my point. Do you want to watch Tiger over and over and over again?
No.
Struggle in these signature events. Like the majors.
You want to know what I want to do? I want to watch Tiger in January of 2026, start his season in Florida, not in Hawaii, riding in a golf cart because he'll be 50, and he's going to go and just tear up the Champions Tour. And that's what I want him to do. Like, go and ride in your golf cart and go around and giggle and laugh and enjoy your time on the Champions Tour, win all the majors on the Champions Tour like Jack did, and then walk away from the game after you could ride a golf cart for all of your events at that point going forward.
Agreed.
It's just like we remember like the nostalgia of watching Jack or Arnie that last trip across the bridge, at St. Andrews, Arnie's final walk down, Augusta, I think that's the point where we are with Tiger right now is I don't think there's going to be a final walk at Augusta for him. And I think he's going to pick and choose his last U.S. Open, his last Open Championship at courses he wants to go out on. And then it's going to be, Jack and Arnie in late 60s. Yeah.
He needs a sponsor's exemption to go forward to play in the Open.
Well, I think we saw the last Open. He did St. Andrews, and that was it for him. I think that was his goodbye.
No, he's playing next month.
Is he? Like, I'll be surprised if
he's
he
going.
Actually, yeah. But Dave, to your point, with that with Jack and Arnie. What I like was you and I got to see Arnie play at his own events,
Yep.
and
Yep.
we were there, and we were around other players at that time, and they were like, "Hey, hold on, I want to go see Arnie tee off in the pro-am." Like, I kind of want to see that with Tiger, like Riviera, like at his events, like see Tiger kind
Yeah.
of do that in the same sense. He's still good enough to play and can play into this, but either pick and choose and play for fun and be competitive. I'm not saying don't be competitive, but if what we've seen in the last few majors is the Tiger we're going to see, you got to go out better than that.
I figured it out. I figured it out. Here it is. So next year's U.S. Open is at Oakmont. He'll show up at Oakmont. He never won at Oakmont, so I don't see him bowing out at Oakmont. The year after is at Shinnecock. They'll give him another sponsor's exemption, and then he's going to say that he'll play 2027 and walk away from playing U.S. Opens in 2027 at Pebble Beach.
Yeah,
At
that
Pebble.
makes sense.
Yeah.
At Pebble. I mean, that to me makes the most sense. Go out and be the sentimental guy. Give him, because they gave Jack freaking 10 sponsors exemption, 10 exemptions to play in the U.S. Open. So you might as well give Tiger because of what Tiger did and what he meant to the game. And then he walks away at Pebble, where he set all the records at Pebble Beach, and that'll be his walk-up 18. He'll be early, late off the first tee on Friday, and he'll walk up 18 on Friday afternoon, waving his hat the entire way up. That'll be it.
On primetime coverage.
On primetime coverage, yeah, correct.
And Charlie will make the cut that week.
Here's my question.
Yes.
Does Charlie caddy for him that week?
No, because Charlie, by that point, Charlie's playing.
Yeah.
Charlie's game, he might not make the cut, but Charlie's playing at that point. Because Charlie tried to
Charlie and Tiger in that pairing at the U.S. Open.
No, there won't be that. As
no,
much
they
as we
won't
would
do
love
that.
To see that that won't happen.
They might. Of the one tournament that would do that, Augusta
would be there.
Augusta would do it.
I would rather see it at Augusta, to be honest.
I would rather see that.
Tiger's last walk up 18 at Augusta with Charlie there.
Yeah, that I would rather see.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Or if it comes around to St. Andrews again, at St. Andrews on the bridge, that with Charlie would be kind of cool too.
Yeah,
that's also only because I have a picture
the hat wave like Jack, foot up on the bridge and the hat wave like Jack, and maybe looking at the fire pit there on the right before it.
Fire pit's gone.
Yeah.
that didn't last that long, thank God.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's what we need to see with Tiger moving forward is play some events. I'd like to see you on the Champions Tour and having some fun on that because I think he can do really well on there. I want to see you in the father-son and I want to see you in the majors, but not the signature events. Maybe your event, one or two throughout the year. But like he said, he wanted to play one a month this year, and he hasn't even lived up to that.
Okay, here's the question then. Tiger on the Champions Tour, does that do the ratings bump like Caitlin Clark for the WNBA?
No, here's my question. Does Tiger on the
Champions Tour... You could have said
Tiger
Tiger for like the PGA too. I'm just saying. You could have done the same.
Does it draw... Does Tiger going to the Champions Tour increase purses on the Champions Tour? Because now you'll have advertising dollars because people will want to put advertising dollars behind it.
It will. And I think it does. I think to both your points, it does do the revenue. It does have that kind of draw of that star on there. Because kind of, to be honest, Phil had that effect on the Champions Tour. People wanted to see Phil on the Champions Tour for a while. And to some extent, Daly had a little bit of a boost for the Champions Tour.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it'll have a huge boost, and I think it would be great for the game.
So they haven't made the announcement yet, but it looks like 2027, same year they're at Pebble, the Open again could be at St. Andrews.
Yeah.
Is that
2027 could be the year.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. So, All right, let's get into happy hour.
Yep.
I want to be here, right?
What an Japan Open, my friends.
I'm going to
Yes.
say this. I want to lead with
Wow.
this. I'd like to thank you both for coming in first and second in the duck race last week, because that meant I won the last 2 weeks. I just wanted to point that out.
Well, here's the thing. You and I talked about this before that, and I was really considering taking Bryson.
Yeah.
The curse of Greg Delawy almost struck Scotty Scheffler.
It did. It really was close. It was close.
Yeah, but I think, Steve, I think you had talked me in and out of Bryson in that conversation, and he was my third pick that week. Hey, I got a top 10. I'm not upset about that, but kudos to Bryson there, and the fact that his driver went everywhere but the fairway almost on Sunday, and he scrambled the hell out of that course.
With, by the way, a brand new driver head in the bag, because he concaved the head hitting balls
on the range.
On the range.
Yeah.
I almost on Friday, I was almost going to text you guys that I was kicking myself in the you-know-what for not pulling a Dave and riding my horse in Ludwig. Because I was like, great, the time I don't pick Ludwig, here we go.
So all the hype was around Ludwig, and everything was comparing him to Francis Ouimet in the greatest game ever played, about being the last person to win in their first U.S. Open, and it was a great storyline, and it was holding up, and Oberg played amazing out there, and I was thinking the same thing, Steve. I'm like, I'm surprised you didn't pick him, but when you picked Bryson, I thought that was a smart choice, because he is in the majors. He's been playing well. His game, his mental capacity, and you and I talked about this when I was watching on Sunday, and I was watching Rory and Bryson on Sunday. I said their mental game right now was fantastic. Like, they wanted to win. They were playing for fun. They were playing for the love of the game. They were enjoying it out there. Bryson was pumping the crowd up. Rory was getting into it. Like, I wish they were in the same pairing on Sunday, because it would have made it even better out there. But when I saw the way that they were focused on the golf course, it made it that much more special. It made it that much better. It was a TED Talk in how to mentally focus on a golf course.
So let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this, because you said it. Rory gets paired with basically the Riddler or the Joker or his arch nemesis from the Ryder Cup, with his caddy that he is about to like punch in the face, because I feel like that's how he felt about Joey on Sunday. Do you think that had any outcome on the way Rory played? And do you think he would have had a better chance being paired with Bryson?
No, I think it was positive. I think Rory went into that and they're friends. Like, it was the heat of the Ryder Cup is what that was at that time.
In the last month, he called him a dick in an interview.
No, I know that. But what I'm saying is they have. I think it fueled him. I think he was like, he let that kind of drive him on that day. I think playing with Bryson would have done the exact same thing for him.
Yeah.
I think it just would have been. It would have been fun to hear like the USA chants and the Roar's chants at the same time out there. I thought him and Cantley was a fun pairing to watch, but like you and I both said this. Cantley, when I just said that Rory and Bryson looked like composed and having a good time out there and focused and had that drive.
You and I talked about this, yeah.
Cantley looked like he was pissed off the entire time, and he always does.
He does. And there was 1 minute, and I don't know if you caught it. There was a moment at one point they went to the picture-in-picture commercial break that I can't stand, and I hate them. And Cantley was on the tee, and I don't know what hole it was on. It might have been I don't know if it was 14. I don't know what hole it was on. It was somewhere at some point on Sunday, and they literally went through 2 commercials in the playthrough before Cantley had teed his ball up and stood over it. And at one point back, it was 2 commercials worth before Cantley hit his tee shot. And all I could think to myself is, I'm kind of glad this might be the first time I'm going to say this. I don't mind the playthrough commercial, because I'd rather watch the commercial than watch that.
Yeah.
Like, it was unbelievably slow. And I was like, what are you doing? Hit it.
It's like watching Sergio Garcia, play from years ago.
Who also played well this week.
He did play well this week. Really quickly, someone that we've already mentioned on this show. So we know that tonight is Game 5 in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
Jack Nicklaus is beating the drums in Florida and down in.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
Cheer for the Panthers. So my wife just texted me that, so I wanted to make sure we got that out there. Go,
so with what speaking of things that were like funny, did you catch and people made this into a meme this week, but I caught it live and I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Oberg's caddy's facial reactions half the time through this tournament was
Joe Scobrin.
Unbelievable.
Joe Scobrin was great.
Like they need to just have a camera on him from now on just to catch like his reactions because they are fantastic.
Well, and I was surprised at the triple, the first one he made on Saturday, because I felt like Scobrin would have been smarter than that and told him to play to the fat of the green and just take your bogey and get out of here. Like, if you make a putt, great, don't go at the flag. Because you couldn't go at that flag. There was zero chance from where he was to fire at that flag.
That's the thing. Like, I talked about this when I was at the Heritage. My dad and I were watching Tom Kim and his caddy. And his caddy flat out, Tom Kim was ready to just go shoot under this tree on the 8th hole. And it was a tough shot, and he was like, "I can get up there." And this, he's like, "No, the smart move now because you're on a route is hit it over here and do this." And he goes, "If this is the wrong move, it's on me. But this is what we need to do here." And he talks him into it. But you can't always talk the pro into it.
And that's another conversation that we're going to have here. The funny part about that is that hole's already hard enough. 8 at Harbor Town. Mm-hmm. I think it's the hardest hole in the golf course. It's up there.
It's one of them. It's not. I don't think it's the hardest.
I think it's the hardest hole in the front 9.
I don't think it was the hardest. Yeah, it's the hardest on the front 9. I don't think it was the hardest that week.
No,
but that was
all right.
That should find the scorecard from when we played that to see what we actually got on that hole.
All right. So here's my. Okay, so you mentioned it, and we talked about caddies, and I'm gonna throw it out there. Does Rory need a new caddy?
So that's been a topic that's out there lately, and I don't know if he needs a new caddy.
I do.
It might be. That might be the answer, but he needs to figure something out. He needs to figure out what is it that you need a new caddy because it's the mental game that he's not helping you with? Is it something the caddy's not helping you with, or do you need a sports psychologist to help you get over this whatever?
Rory's problem is, and it's you need to be able to have a caddy that can. I mean, I can't think of one time since Rory switched to Harry Diamond as his caddy that Harry has backed him off a shot and said, no chance you do this. And I also think he needs somebody that is going to look at him and be like, you're Rory freaking McIlroy. Go up and knock this thing in the back of the freaking hole and let's freaking go and win this son of a bitch. That's how I feel about it. And he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that in Harry. Like
Harry's
going to be his buddy. He's going to be his best friend. But I don't know that he has that caddy that can. And again, with Bones and Mickelson famously had that he can back him off 2 shots a year and change the shot twice a year. Like I honestly feel like that he needs somebody, whether it's an agreement or not. And again, let's look at Scotty Scheffler. Until Ted Scott was on the bag for Scotty, like Ted Scott might be the best caddy on the PGA Tour. But Ted Scott is also going to push him and drive him, and they have this ongoing thing about a bonus for Ted Scott on the number of shots that Scotty holds from off the green. Like, you know what? Have something, and I bet Rory does, and they don't talk about it. But like, I feel like I need somebody to look at Rory on 15T and look at him and go, "No, here's the damn 8 iron. You're not going to miss long because long is dead, and the best score you're going to make on 15 if you're over the screen is bogey. You're going to hit 8 iron, and if you're short, you're going to putt up the front of the green, and you're going to make par and get the hell out of here." That's what Rory needs.
I don't think he needs that. I don't think he needs someone.
No, I think that's what he needs. I think he needs that in that time. That's why I don't think he's won. 10 years without a major with his talent. 10 years without a major with his talent. He needs somebody that can put him.
I get that, but I think he needs someone. I don't think he needs someone that aggressive, as you're putting it. I think I would like to see like a fluff, like type caddy with him. Someone. Bones is actually someone I think because I think what Bones did well for Mickelson is they had that joking, but Bones knew how to talk to Mickelson. You need someone who knows how to talk to Rory and get him where he needs to be. I don't think he needs that like anger because I think that would be too much. But he needs someone that's going to get him to be like, hey, let's think this through. Someone that's going to be that, like, there's a million great caddies out there that are better than just hand me a club and out
But
there.
I feel
But
like
he
that's
needs
all
someone.
Harry's. I feel like all Harry's doing is carrying the bag and handing him a club. Like,
and that's what he doesn't
He
need.
hit 3-wood on 18T Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Rory hits a draw. Oh, let's hit a cut driver off the 18th tee. When you don't hit a cut, Rory, you hit a draw. What's your go-to stock shot? You are in the most pressure cooked situation. You're on the 18th hole of a major. You've got a one-shot lead, or you're tied for the lead, and you literally have to hit your go-to shot. You cannot try and hit the shot going the opposite direction at that point. Take the 3-wood, roast the draw down there, put it in play, and then take your chances. And that's what he should have done. Why did you change? Why did you change your game plan? Why did you not hit 3-wood? Like,
here's the
Rory,
thing.
Phil Mickelson at Wingfoot.
Again, stupid.
I don't think he changed his game plan, to be honest. And this is where I think he needs a better caddy is I don't think there was a game plan. I think it was just go out and play golf. And that's why he had that mental thing that I talked about. But I think he needed more of that game plan, and they need more of that, like, okay, this is the situation we're in. This is how we have to play at the situation. Like, you have to see where you are at that moment, because he doesn't need to take a risk here. He needs to be smart and go up there. It's just like in Tin Cup. It's like, you don't need an eagle. You don't need this at this point. Lay it up there, chip up, make par. Like, that's what you need. You don't need to go for eagle and hit it as far as you can, Tin Cup. So,
okay, next question, and we're gonna stick on Rory before we change topics. Is Rory a competitor or a poor sport?
So I'm gonna go into this. Now, I'm gonna go into a rant. I'm gonna go into a Steve rant here.
Oh boy, here we go.
So we talked about men's mental health 2 weeks ago. Dave just sits back and relaxes there. It's good for that. And I think it's important that we stop criticizing and judging people for these little actions that happen on there. Do I think it's wrong that he didn't congratulate Bryson? Yes. Do I blame him for it? No. At the moment, you weren't playing in that same group as him. You were sitting around waiting for him.
We didn't know if he congratulated Bryson or not. It may have happened off camera.
But it didn't. No, it didn't. He made an apology today. So it's with that being said, do I think he should have congratulated him? Yes, but I don't blame him for that. And as for not talking to the media, I 100% actually applaud him for not talking to the media, because the media, think about the big picture. Think about what Rory has gone through these past few weeks. He was going through a divorce, and instead of the media being like, oh, let's give him space, it's a rough time for him and his family, what do? They come up with all these allegations that he's dating Amanda Balionis and drag her through this whole thing for no reason, just because they're nice to each other on the course. We have to make these wild accusations out there that is completely wrong. Then you play in one of the greatest U.S. Opens in modern history, and you miss a putt. You have made 496 putts within 3 feet this year. This is the first one that you missed. And, well, second, 16 too. But it's still, you miss these 2 putts. You're devastated at this point. Like, I don't blame you for not wanting to talk to the people who just dragged you through the mud through a divorce that thankfully isn't happening, and he's reconciling with his wife. But at that point, we need to give somebody some slack at that point. Like, you don't have an obligation to talk to the media. There's nothing out there, but we think that they need to do these things that they honestly don't. Do I think as a good sport? Yes, you should congratulate. It is part of this game, the history of the game. You take your hat off, you congratulate the people that you play with in just a round that we play casually. And should he have gotten to Bryson? But in the heat of the moment, I understand where he's coming from. And we need to give people slack and not jump on them every time.
I don't have a problem with him not talking to the media. I really don't. Because the media is, I think the comment that Faldo's, it's come out, the Faldo's comment to Norman was something like, don't let the assholes get to you, was I think what he said to Norman after the collapse at Augusta. And so I don't have a problem with the media. Where I have a problem, and we've all seen video of LeBron walking off the court before the end of the game and not shaking hands and congratulating teams on winning when he's gotten knocked out of the NBA Finals. I have a problem with him not congratulating Bryson when Bryson, who was warming up for a playoff at the PGA Championship not a month ago, literally ran to catch Xander to thank him and congratulate him on a win and making that putt. So I have a problem where, yeah, I'm going to compare Rory to LeBron for being a baby in this one, which is painful for me because I think Rory's a bigger person than LeBron is, not in stature, but in person skills. But I do think that the problem that I have with it is I do think that Rory needs to be the bigger person. He's the face of the PGA Tour right now. And I think that he needs to be the bigger person. And he is the one that's out there saying that we need to mend the ties with Liv and figure this out. And so what's the easiest way for you to mend the ties? Go and shake Bryson's hand.
And he should have. I'm not saying he shouldn't have, but I give him love. I understand what he went through there.
But as a parent who teaches their children in their sports, Dave, you do this with your son, I know. Greg, your son, as he gets into sports, you're going to have to do this. I do this with my kids. It's about sportsmanship. And it 100%. Was poor sports. It was poor sportsmanship is what it was.
Why? Let me ask you this. Why was it poor sportsmanship? Because they didn't play in the same group together. If this was this close and Rory was just waiting back there, and like you don't expect Scotty, you don't expect Tony Finau to go shake his hand at the end of it, only because they played close and he had a chance to win. That's why he has to shake his hand.
Yeah, because it was the two of them. At the end of the day, it was the two of them, and you have to me, he should be out there saying, "Hey, congratulations!" And it doesn't have to be a big long interaction. It's, "Hey, congratulations! You played great bunker shot, and I'm out," and that's all it needs to be.
Well, because I'm going to use your example of LeBron. LeBron was in the same game; they were there at the same time. It was like being in the same group.
Again, LeBron's a poor sport. I'm not arguing that.
Okay, well, here's the devil's advocate piece. So he was, and so Rory was in the group ahead. What if Rory was one of the first ones off, went and shot lights out and shot a 59, but then still loses by 1? He'd been done for hours. Do you expect him to come out? He's probably got to warm back up and everything else. But say he was one of the first groups out.
That's my point.
We're holding him accountable because he was in the group ahead. If he had been 7, 8, 9 groups in front of that and watching from the clubhouse and, eating a Wawa hoagie, nobody would have cared. It is Hoagie Fest right now. That's why I mentioned it.
Oh, I'm getting a Wawa right down the street, Dave. they just broke ground on it. I'm so excited in Indianapolis.
So again,
right.
It's the double standard that the media, we're holding them accountable for something that is not totally accountable. He has had hell of weeks. They've drug him through everything. Get out, get your head cleared, and go get a pint of Guinness on your plane back, back home, and go relax and get your head straight and come back out for the Scottish Open and be ready for it.
Yeah, and that was his comment today. He did kind of apologize in his comment today. I thought it was kind of a half-assed apology, but I get it. I get where he's coming from. And as a dad, Steve, I agree with you 100%. And my dad taught me this too. Sportsmanships, you shake their hand, you do that. And to be honest, I think he should have. I do think he should have shaken his hand, but I do not blame him for it because what he's going through.
If they were in the last group together and Rory walked off without shaking hand, that's a completely different story. But they weren't even in the same group.
Here's the thing. All I'm saying is stay in the scoring area where you were instead of storming out of there. Bryson comes in, hey, congratulations, give him a hand, and I'm out. Deuces. And I'm pissed. I'm mad at myself. But that's where and again, Rory lost the US Open. Mm-hmm. Let's call it what it is. Rory lost the US Open. It's what happened.
Bryson almost lost the US Open too. That's what made this.
But here's my other problem. This isn't the first time Rory has done this.
So Rory did this different.
Rory did this at Bay Hill. Rory was walking across the bridge at Bay Hill. We were in the MasterCard tent. Luke asked him for an autograph. Oh, I'll sign after my round. He played like crap and stormed by everybody and wouldn't sign an autograph for any kid. He's a babe. Rory, you play a game for a living. I get it at the end of the day, but ripping an autograph on a piece of paper or a hat for a kid isn't going to change the difference. Shaking Bryson's hand, it makes you look like a better person.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. From a mental
Yeah.
health standpoint, we got to be better to these people. Like, you know what? If they're going to be like that, let them be like that. That's not our
Yeah.
place to judge them or yell at them for that. And it is what it is. And you know what? It's going to go down, and this is going to be remembered. That's the sad part about it, and we're all going to have our opinions on it. But
Yeah.
I would hope that he does better in the future,
Yep.
and that if Bryson loses to him at, let's say, at the Open in a few weeks, that Bryson goes shakes his hand, because that would be a class move by Bryson.
Wiregrass, better or worse than 6-inch thick rough?
I love this course.
Yes.
I love this course. And I will say this, and Steve, we talked about this.
Mhm.
Bryson's 2 U.S. Opens were in really deep rough and this wiregrass. And his strength powered through that. But it's also his skill of, like, a lot of people can power through it, but he can keep that club face square and get the shot that he wants on there. This course tested these players. I loved how it was set up. I love what the USGA did preparing for this, because it made these players think and look like the everyday golfer. They had to play the smart shot. They had to chip up. They had to hit to a certain spot. They couldn't just play their power like, I'm going to hit it here, I'm going to do this, and humdrum their way through this like they normally can. And I enjoy watching. This was a true test of golf. And I love it. I love high grass, and I love these wire grass in the bunkers. I love it.
So here's my take on the wiregrass. I don't think the talk going in was that how penal the wiregrass was going to be. I don't think it got what they wanted.
Really?
No, I don't, because there was a lot of talk that, like, you weren't going to be able to advance the ball. You're going to have to get sideways. And the ball went in and bounced.
This week?
Yeah, but I don't think that was a result of the wiregrass. The ball went in, bounced off the wiregrass, and then as it bounced off the wiregrass, it gave you a spot in the dirt.
Not always. It did for Bryson a lot for what you saw, but a lot of times a lot of people were tough out there too. Bryson, I feel, got lucky in the wiregrass.
Now, you know, we saw this, you know, with the grounding of the club there at Pinehurst. I saw a post today. Imagine if DJ was allowed to do that a couple years ago.
Whistling
outside the ropes, outside the ropes, where you and I could have built sandcastles in the bunker. Can't ground your club. BS. But okay, that's fair. I'll take it. I actually think I don't mind the wiregrass. I really don't. I think it makes for a unique setting. If this winning score had been 20 under par, I think the USGA would be revisiting the wiregrass.
Yes.
At 6 under, I don't think it made a difference.
But here's the thing: at 6 under, you only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players under par.
Under par. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Like next year we need to remember. Like, I feel like we need to do, like, you know, the Super Bowl.
We won't.
You're right, we won't. But we need to come up with like a U.S. Open like prop bet of like players under par, low score. Like, I feel like we need to do that next year.
Will Rory shake someone's hand at the end of the round? I
mean, that's another great question. You know, I also find it funny that Bryson, who's probably the longest hitter out there on tour, who's known for overpowering golf courses, will be remembered for hitting the greatest 55-yard bunker shot in the history of golf.
I think his second shot, as awesome as that shot was out of the bunker to get that close, I think the way he was able to advance the ball on his second shot there just to get it to the bunker was a better shot.
I actually think that that shot was actually a terrible shot, because the last spot you want to leave that ball in is 55 yards from the green in a bunker.
I think that's one of the only shots he had, actually, was to leave it in that bunker.
Yeah.
And did you see afterwards the one person that came out there and hit the same shot and hit it closer than
Johnson Wagner? Well, no. Yeah, but that was take 2. Did you see take 1?
don't care if it was take 2. He still hit it closer.
Take 1 was bladed into the deuce.
The
The
deuce needs a new window.
I think you saw how much practice time he took to get that club through, and to try and
he hit it fat. Like, let's be real, it was a chunk and run. That's all he hit there. It was a straight chunk and run. Like, freaking swing at it as hard as you can with the same wedge, chunk it out.
He had to
see where it runs to. Great, let's go.
Seemed to
last
work
question.
Out pretty well. For
last question before you move on from happy hour: should Bryson DeChambeau be on the Olympic team?
Yes.
Yes.
We have made too much of this live versus the PGA and leaving people out of stuff. And I think live should be live and the PGA should be the PGA. I do think that. I think this war should be over. But I think with the way Bryson has played in these majors and stuff like that, it's up to the Olympic Committee on what they do and what they use world golf rankings out there. So he hasn't earned his spot. So him being off, I'm okay with. But as the U.S.
here's
Open
the thing.
champ,
it's like the Ryder Cup. You want the best people out there to represent your country.
Yeah.
So take the best people out there.
They go by world golf rankings. We're the only country that has 4 players, and we have Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele. So 2 of the 3 major winners this year are going. Wyndham Clark and Colin Morikawa.
that's how it ended because there was a way that Colin could have dropped out and someone else was like right on the cusp after this.
It's
right.
Cantley.
It was Cantley.
Yeah.
Cantley's number 9
Cantley
in
needed
the
to
world.
finish second to move up. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Bryson's number 10 in the world. Now, if they take the top 15, but you're capped at 4 from your country.
Mm-hmm.
So Bryson and Cantley are on the outside looking in because they were both still in the top 15. I don't know. I think Bryson should be there. I'm going to say this: you knew your bed when you went to live, and just stay with it.
Here's the thing: I think what they should do with this, and think about how awesome this would be. I talked about the U.S. swimming trials. Have golf trials. Have the top 10 golfers in the United States play a match. It can be 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, whatever. And the top 4 in scoring are who you take. And you take those hot hands right now. It's what we do in track and field. It's what we do in everything else.
Because is Wyndham Clark really a hot hand right now?
No.
Exactly. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I would say that whoever is the governing body behind the U.S. Olympic golf team, they need to kind of look at that from a trial standpoint and maybe make the U.S. Open the trial. Like, if you're the top, so right now that would put, if you took the top 4 from the U.S. Open, the top 4 Americans, it would be Bryson, Tony Finau, Patrick Cantley, and Russell Henley, funny enough. Or Xander Schauffele if you had, because there's a tie there.
It's Xander Schauffele, yeah.
That's why you're not doing this, is because of Russell Henley.
No, but I think if you have a playoff before this, like you take out of an event, you just say, hey, we're going to take this weekend, and this is the U.S. Open of golf or the Olympic qualifying once every 4 years. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like, let's take the hot hands.
Mm-hmm. What if you took, at this point, the year of the Olympics, you looked at the majors and the signature events? I mean, here's the problem. That still eliminates live kind of on that equation.
But who knows where we're going to be in 4 years with all this?
Yeah.
We're talking about right now.
But I think they need to look at that from a standpoint, because when you look at stuff like the basketball, they just pick and choose who they think, and they get to put together their best team. They have tryouts sometimes. Yeah. So I think
Mike, I think you're right.
Here's the problem. We tried that with, and this is a former Ryder Cup venue, Greg. You and I had this conversation before we went on the air. They're going to Le Golf National, where we got waxed in the Ryder Cup.
Waxed. I think if I am running the Olympic Golf Selection Committee, what I would do is I would say, hey, you can enter. We're going to take the top 10 or whatever. We're going to take a whole bunch into this. I'm going to pick a course, because I already know what course we're playing at the Olympics. I'm going to pick a course that is similar to that, and I want to see how you do on it. And then I'm going to pick my team.
Yeah.
We're all going to fly over there and play that course.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But
no.
All right.
But
Well, let's move on into let's do. You want to do Smack of the Week?
Let's do Smack of the Week. Well, before you get that up and ready, I'm going to say thank you to the USGA, to Pinehurst, to Bryson, to Rory, to all the players out there for giving us one hell of a U.S. Open this week. The USGA in Pinehurst is a match made in heaven, and I am so happy.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just going to say this. I saw this Smack of the Week. I knew what was going to happen just by this picture of the first.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. We're just going to let it roll. I mean, you knew it was going to happen at that point.
Hold on, I'm going to play that again. It doesn't look like he has a wedge in his hand. It doesn't look like he has...
It looks like he's got 3-iron in his hand.
Yeah. And you expect to get over that?
Right.
Come on.
Right.
That's
no.
But getting back to Bryson, did y'all notice the marker on the back of his hat? The Payne Stewart logo, the 25th anniversary of Payne Stewart winning, there at Pinehurst. I like the Payne Stewart flag on 18.
With the pose, yeah. I'm gonna reach out. I actually know Aaron. Aaron actually did a great interview on the Peacock coverage. Aaron Stewart and Chelsea, his sister, and I'm gonna work on trying to get Aaron on our show. Leading in, he's actually the tournament director for the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament Champions event at Lake Nona here. So I'm going to work on getting him on before, but I'd love to be able to have that conversation with Aaron 25 years later. And so I'm going to work on getting Aaron on our show at some point. Dave, you met Aaron at that tournament this year when you were out there. So good dude. And, I think it'll be a nice conversation to have with him about Payne.
So. Yeah, and Payne Stewart was one of my favorite golfers growing up, who I idolized and remember watching that Open in '99, and it was great to see that. I love that Pinehurst, if you don't know this, Pinehurst does that hole every Sunday. Like they put that hole out every Sunday in honor of Payne Stewart. I loved that Bryson, who wore that type of hat for years and has only switched since he went to live, had that hat on his bag and put it on the trophy at the end too.
Yep.
All right. Let's get into last call. So there was a lot of talk a year ago. I don't know if you guys remember this. We had a long conversation about this event being a signature event, and I think the winner was 20-something under last year in Hartford, and it turned into a birdie fest.
Wait a second.
The reports that have come out, I was listening to Michael Breed, who was live from his show, was from TPC River Highlands today. He was talking about the rough is up. They've grown the rough up this year, so it's the rough's way more penal. And I think that's going to be good.
Under.
What?
23 under was Keegan last year.
I was close, and I said 24. So, so
Scotty was 19 under.
Scotty was 19 under. Like it was a birdie fest.
It was fun to watch though last year.
It was. And that win should have gotten Keegan to Italy last year. Let's just
100%
at that. Should have gotten Keegan on that team to Italy. But as we look back at where they're going, and you're coming off the U.S. Open, short trip up to Hartford, into play in Cromwell. Golf tournament I grew up going to as a child. I've been to the golf course I don't know how many times. It's a fun event to go to. It's not Harbortown fun, Greg, and the stories that you tell about Harbortown. It's not. It's kind of like Bay Hill. I'll be honest with you. Like it's a good time. Okay. And a huge amphitheater, a huge amphitheater around 18. Shout out to a friend of mine, past champion there, Ken Duke, has won there, won in a playoff there, hit a great shot in a playoff to win there. But it's a fun event, and I will say this: I think part of the reason this event is a signature event is it has been known for many years on the PGA Tour. They take care of the players there. Like, they give them pretty good swag bags to show up that include things like Ruth's Chris gift cards, because players need Ruth's Chris gift cards. Because
I have a question for Bradley if he's watching. How many times did you have to drink in the drinking game during that whole rant right there? Because I was counting like 5 or 6.
Last year our picks at the Travelers, I had Tommy Fleetwood, who missed the cut. Greg had Xander, tied 19th at 14 under, and Steve Hattie tied for 4th at 19 under.
Now, I'm going to ask a question as we get into picks and we get into odds with Dave here.
Do I have to go virtual and send you a quick video?
Yes.
No. I mean, Scott would appreciate that. Scott from Desert Fox, I think, would appreciate the virtual Dave shout out.
You should. You should appreciate the virtual Dave.
I should. I'm going to ask.
You've won the last 2 weeks with virtual Dave. I'm just pointing that out.
Right. No, but the question is I know I get to pick first. But is Scotty still available for me since I've picked the winner the last 2 weeks and one of them was Scotty? Because it's still the same month.
When did the Memorial finish?
Hold on, if it is. No, Memorial.
Memorial was in June.
It's the same month.
Yep. So you cannot take Scotty.
I'm also disappointed, by the way, that Rory withdrew.
Wait, did you have Scotty at the Memorial?
I did.
He had Scotty at the Memorial, yes.
Okay. I won the last 2 weeks. I won the last 2 weeks.
Oh, that's right. You did have Scotty at the Memorial because you had that. Okay. So yes, you cannot pick Scotty.
He also had Scotty at Charles Schwab, and then was able to take him at the Memorial because it was a new month.
Yes, but yeah, you cannot take Scotty because of the month rule.
Even though winning, I thought winning trumped that.
No, winning
does not trump that.
That's horseshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now Greg can take Scotty for 2 weeks in a row here.
Yes, because
Greg gets
majors don't count.
Pick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Majors don't count. I understand that. Well, then I guess I'm gonna have to go with.
Well, we'll get to there.
Yeah, we'll get to there. Okay.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Let's.
I'm going to say this. I'm also disappointed in Rory. In missing. This is the second year in a row that Rory is the only player eligible for the signature events to miss more than one.
I feel Rory gets the buys like Tiger kind of got the buys.
I don't feel it though.
No, I feel
not when
like
you're the face. Not when you're the face.
No. I'm not saying he should get the buys. I'm saying he gets them because of he is the face, like when Tiger was. I don't think he should. I think because of the face, he should be playing and stuff like this. But I think that's why he gets what he gets.
But I also
get
feel
it
like you're the one that's pushing for smaller fields, the limited fields. You're the one that's pushed for this. You were the one on the policy board that created this and said you can only miss one event. And you're the only player that's missing 2. And yes, you're getting fined, but everybody else is showing up.
Why do you think they didn't put it back on the policy board?
Well, again, fair statement.
This is part of it.
Yeah.
All right, Dave.
I get it last year because he had to travel cross country, but here we go.
He played Hartford last year. Did he make a whole?
I wish I could show everyone, all of us, kind of like rocking out to that music as it's
popping our heads. Our honor music, yeah.
So, we've talked about, I know Steve loves this course. We've talked about it a lot. I think it sets up well for a lot of players this week. I may have to go down the list on my guys because a couple of them I'm not allowed to take. But Scotty, of course, leading the way at about 3.5 to 1. Xander at 7.5. Colin Morikawa at 12.
You can lead pipe lock that Xander pick in for me.
Okay.
Ludwig, I'm just going to leave it at that. There's my pick.
Ludwig at 14. Victor at 18. Canty at 20. Hideki at 22. Tommy Fleetwood at 28. Last year's winner, Keegan, is at 50 to 1.
Okay.
So
So
we're gonna
played well.
lock in
Keegan hasn't played
Xander
well.
for Steve.
Yep, there we go.
all right, Dave. I need two from you. Oberg, what was his odds?
18.
14.
Finau.
30.
Why are you doing this? You're taking Scotty and you know it.
I'm not taking Scotty. I'm not 100% not taking Scotty. I'm really not.
Well, Dave, there's your pick.
No, because I think Scotty said it last week. Like he's played too much coming up through this. I think Scotty will be up there. I think Scotty's a good pick. But I hope Scotty wins, to be honest. But you know what? I'm gonna go Oberg. That's who I'm going with.
Ooh, taking my guy.
I am.
Dave?
I like Finau, but I just think I don't think he's ready to
I
go
feel
over
like this is a good course for Finau to win on.
I do.
It's going to be a birdie fest, and I don't know that his putter can withhold the shots in a birdie fest.
That's.
I'm waiting for Rocket Mortgage to come around and take Finau there.
That's a good pick.
He does always play that well there. He's won there. So,
Yep.
All right, Dave.
My pick that I can't take Morikawa because I'm in the same month, so he's out for me. So
Scotty Scheffler, he just fell to 3.
You just called it. You got to take Scotty.
Right, like
I got to take it because Scotty may not play Rocket Mortgage or John Deere because he's going to go get ready
Scotty's
for
not going to play Rocket Mortgage or John Deere. He's
and
not.
John Deere puts John Deere puts you next month because John Deere's in
July. Yeah, so I'll take Scotty.
Okay.
All right.
So our overall standings right now, Greg, you're still in the plus numbers at 113.
All right.
Steve with back-to-back wins moves up to 175, and I'm still leading the way at 187.
All right.
Okay.
This is why I need Oberg to have a good week this week, and I need you both to miss the cut.
There's no cut this week.
I know. That's why it sucks.
I get 1 point.
There's no cut this week.
Well,
hey, Greg, guess what? You can't miss the cut.
That's true. I'm pretty sure with Oberg, I have a good chance of not missing the cut.
Yeah.
But I've also proved that wrong a few times this year.
That's actually who I was going to take.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you took my pick
Oberg.
2 weeks ago. I'm taking Oberg this week because I think he's playing well.
Virtual Dave took your pick. I did.
He did. I know. Virtual Dave did take my pick. So. Hey, first off, shout out to American Fits. Shout out to Bridgestone and Mindset.
Yeah.
Thank you all for that. And U.S. Open, USGA, and Pinehurst. I'm just clapping to you.
Job.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
With that, we will see you next week, folks.
Deuces.
Cheers.
I'm really fortunate, man. I mean, having the opportunity to build something
that has gone viral on our TikTok. That somebody was commenting about playing Whistling Straits for 700.